Hey guys, I'm just about to do my BMW Multimedia Interface and SmartView Retrofit. I just received these in the mail today, and it's a pretty simple install. Basically consists of removing the screen temporarily with two Torx bits that are, two Torx screws that are in there, and then also taking the glove box out. And the glove box is actually really easy to take out. There's just 6 screws in total, 6 Torx screws, and the whole glove box comes right out. After that, it involves connecting this box to power and the display, and connecting this box to this box. Looks complicated, looks hard, you know, there's lots of wires and crazy stuff, but quite honestly, it's pretty much plug and play. I think the hardest part of this retrofit is going to be fishing some of the wires from the screen to in behind the glove box, and I think just with some patience and being, you know, careful, you'll find that it's really easy to do. So all I have here is a T20 screwdriver, and another T20 screwdriver, and a T15. And I believe that's all you need. You might need a T10 at some point or another while working on your car. So if you don't have Torx bits, I suggest getting a T10, a T15, and a T20 just so you have them for when you need them. I just wanted to clarify that it's actually a T10 bit that you need, and instead of using one of the long screwdrivers, I'm going to use a bit like this. There's actually not a lot of room to work with here, so all I have to do is go get a socket with a hex adapter, and I'm good to go. So one of the prerequisites to get the glove box out is to remove the cup holders, because the back of the cup holders actually butt up against a mounting bracket for the glove box, so they got to come out. Looks intimidating, not really. You've got this cover here that's just a veneer. What I do is I take these plastic prying tools. They're just plastic wedges. I got these at my local auto parts store. It was $16 for a set of, I believe, 8 of them. And all you have to do is push in with and start pulling out. And you use the wedge to your advantage, and I can pretty much guarantee you won't scratch your interior if you do it this way. All right. So far so good, so far no scratches. And you just have to kind of understand where the clips are. You can tell by the resistance, because those are the main pieces that you have to get out for this to be successful. So as you can see, I did that one-handed. Back of it's got 2 tabs in the middle, 2 clips on either side. You're good to go. I always recommend placing your parts somewhere safe where you're not going to scratch them. The worst thing is to take a part off, set it down, and not realize you're on the brink of scratching it. I don't know why my trunk's not opening. Weird. Oh, so I slid the trunk lock lever over. There you go. So what I'll do is I'll take it and I'll just put it right there. That way I know I'm not going to accidentally mess it up. Okay, so I've taken the screws out of the cup holders, so I'm going to remove the cup holders, and I'm just going to put them in the glove box. And let's see. Okay. And I put the faces in opposite directions so they won't touch. And the glove box just comes out. And I'll go ahead and disconnect the wires. Now when it comes to removing plastic clips and stuff like this, I tend to like using a small pick tool, which you can get at your local hardware surplus store, because it makes it way easier to remove cables. And the last thing I want to do is put stress on the harness here and risk like pulling the pins out or damaging them. I mean, you get lucky for the most part, but honestly, that's like, could that have been any easier? I'm not sure. So I basically use picks for any application like this. Okay, now that I have the glove box out, I'm going to also put it in my trunk. And I know you might think I'm crazy, but I try really hard not to scratch my parts, and I do a lot of mods to my car. I installed this whole dash with iDrive myself. For example, no matter how careful I am, I always end up scratching something. So just get it out of there. That's my advice. So now that the glove box is taken out, which wasn't that hard, we basically just have to find a good path to run the wires to the iDrive screen, which is right up here. And it's doable, or else I wouldn't make this retrofit. Okay, let's take a run through now that everything's hooked up. I still got tools and a mess on the floor, but all the modules are hidden behind the glove box and right in here. First things first, we'll bring up the Miracast. And you can see that the Miracast is actually broadcasting the video I'm recording right now. Woo! Alright, cool, let's move on. Next thing I did is I have a OEM style aftermarket camera, so I'm not using the backup camera with the MMI module, but what I did anyway is I hooked up a Y connector to that camera so I can still look at it through the MMI whenever I want, which is kind of cool. I kept the dynamic lines up, but I could have chose to got rid of them by using by tapping in before the dynamic line bypass. Dynamic line injector, I guess you'd say. Alright, moving on. And then lastly, I just hooked up a Raspberry Pi. I have a suspicion I'm going to use this for OBD2 data logging, and also last night I was working up a circuit to see if I could do MP3 sync to my car, and I think I can by just using a couple of relay switches and a battery backup. And then back to the main menu here. So all in all, really cool project. Glad I did it. Love it.